You want to hear something interesting?
Yep.
If you want to know whether or not a person has like schizophrenia or some other type of delusional disorder or psychosis, smell their underarms. I'm not going to advise you to put your face near other parts, right? But yeah, smell their underarms, even after washing, wearing
You mean all that time I spent trying to get diagnosed was a waste? All I had to do was... What am I supposed to be smelling? What do I have to smell? I have no idea if it's working. But what do I smell like? I don't get it. Hey, I'm Michelle Heimer and I have schizophrenia, and welcome to Schizophrenia in the City. Today we're gonna go over, do schizophrenics have a smell?
Clear of the closing doors, please.
I came across that video on Instagram and I just was really curious about it. And my comments that I was getting was mostly agreeing with me that schizophrenia, you couldn't possibly have a smell just because you have schizophrenia. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How could you have a smell because you have schizophrenia? That I've never heard of. Nobody's ever said anything like that to me. That would mean like you could just diagnose people off of what they smell like. This just sounds absurd, right? But then I got some interesting comments as well, and let me show you them too. It's true. My son had a horrible odor. Not just his body, but his whole room. I would wash his clothes and everything in his room, and it would still persisted. It didn't smell like regular BO. It was something I'd never smelled before, and he smelled like that before. This was before he started meds. I googled it, and it's a real thing. The thing is, okay, I get that. Your son can smell really bad, but also, sometimes teenage boys smell really, really bad. Right? I'm just saying. I have an older brother. I remember what it smelled like when him and his friends were playing video games in his room, and I would try to go in there to play and hang out with them, but then like I'd open the door and it was like repulsive smelling. This comment could be both, could be that. I'm just saying, but let me show you some other ones. So the odor is musky and you won't smell it, but others will. My boyfriend showers regularly and people complain about his odor despite everything he's done. Obviously depends on the person. That's really interesting. So this person is saying there actually is a smell to schizophrenia. So what did some other people say? So are you on meds? I have a friend who had the smell, and once she balanced out her meds, the smell was gone. She couldn't smell herself. I think it impacted hormones. Interesting. Hormones can affect smell, I believe, but this is interesting when she's saying just once you get your meds figured out that your weird smell will go away. Okay, sure. Sure. Here's one. Yeah, my pits be stinking way too much all the time, even after showering, no meds. Okay, sure, this person is saying that they do smell, or they're trolling me. Who really knows? One person just wrote garlicky. All right. Schizophrenic smell like garlic. I'm down with that. I can get that, sure. All right. Well, that's the end of my pro smell post. So then I did some research into this because I'm like, schizophrenics can't just have a smell. This is so ridiculous. How can this be real? Let me show you what I found. So the earliest research that I could find was in August of 1960. People have often noticed a strange smell lingering in the backwards of mental hospitals. Some even claim there's a distinct scent specific to people with mental illness, and this isn't found in regular hospitals, no matter how unclean they may be. This smell is especially strong in rooms where insulin therapy is given and seems to come from the skin of the patients. But is it then insulin? I don't really know. Particularly those with catatonic schizophrenia who have oily skin. Well, that's kind of weird anyway. Like, why is your skin all oily in the first place? Okay. One medical textbook even describes an unusual body odor as a symptom of catatonia. In one case, 4 catatonic schizophrenic patients had a skunk-like smell that didn't go away, no matter how much they bathed. Scientists suspect that if this odor is real, it could be linked to chemicals in the sweat or skin oils. I understand that this study is saying that people with schizophrenia have a smell, but I feel like there's so many different factors within this study that make it a little interesting. Because first of all, they're catatonic. So they're not really moving, and it's saying their skin is oily, so that could be producing a smell. And especially they said that where they're getting insulin, so there's a factor also. And then it said the smellier people were the catatonic people, so it didn't go away as much as they bathed, but they're not moving. So are they just kind of sitting in their own like smell and not moving? And I know they get bathed, but how often do you bathe a person that's catatonic? And This is a study from the 1960s, and I realize what year it is now, and this study is pretty old. Let me look at a different one. Oh, we really made it far. We made it to 1962. Apparently in the 60s, this was kind of a big deal. What did this study say? Okay, the next study in 1962, researchers Smith and Science, nice to meet you, Smith and Science, discovered that people with chronic schizophrenia have a unique smell in their sweat that is found in those with schizophrenia. Okay, so it's the sweat now. Okay, unique sweat. A unique sweat. Oh, what can I say? Hey. So, okay, this unique smell in their sweat that isn't found in those with schizophrenia. To prove this, they trained rats to recognize the scent and also had a panel of expert testers confirm its presence. This finding supported earlier reports about a distinct odor in the psychiatric hospital wards, especially among the patients with catatonic schizophrenia. We're going back to catatonics again. The research suggested that if the scent comes from a specific chemical in the sweat or skin oils, identifying it could help uncover a possible metabolic cause of schizophrenia. Oh, so now we're talking about metabolic causes, because we all know that whole thing with like going on the ketosis trend and getting rid of our schizophrenia. If you're familiar with that, if you're not, it's okay. So now, oh, my buzzer is buzzing. Okay, and I'm back. So if you know the ketosis trend, then you know that's your own thing. Do what you want to do. So we're talking about the skin oils and the sweat, and we're talking about that again having a specific smell. Okay, sure, metabolic causes. So if something you're eating not right, causing a smell. Interesting. Can we find a study a little more recent, please? Because this is just far too in the past. Aha! 2005. Still, I realize it's 2025, and this was a long time ago. In 2005, studies using gas chromatography mass spectrometry chemical sensors. Gas chromatography is a process where a mixture is turned into a gas and passed through a special tube. Different substances in the mixture move through the tube at different speeds, helping scientists figure out what's in it. Okay. It confirmed that people with schizophrenia have a distinct body odor. However, this change isn't caused by just one chemical. It's a complex shift in overall body scent. So now we're still in 2005, and we're saying that schizophrenics have a smell. We're still going with that. We're still saying there's a smell happening. The thing is, when I was researching, do people with schizophrenia have a smell? I found articles that said there was a smell, and there was a little AI thing up that said that there is a smell. When I Googled, do people with schizophrenia not have a smell? They were saying people with schizophrenia do not smell. But then they were kept telling me these things about people with schizophrenia have bad senses of smells. That's what it kept showing me. Here's one thing in my personal life and what I noticed. I've played a lot of sports throughout my life, and when I started going on psych meds and I was playing college athletics, I sweat a lot more than every other person. So you could have said that I smelled because I was sweating so much more. Also, do psych meds make you smell? Do psych meds give you a certain scent? From my experience, from the swimmers, people on the swim team who were bathing in chlorine all day, if they would go running, you would then smell chlorine on them as they went running, even though they weren't swimming. So is it something that just gets into your skin? Does this get into your skin when you take psych meds, that it just oozes out when you run? I am not a scientist. This is my own little opinion. Is it a psych med things that make you kind of smell? Maybe. And then there's also the hygiene factor of people with schizophrenia don't always have the best hygiene, even though all of these studies said that these schizophrenic people all really had good hygiene. Do I think people with schizophrenia actually have a smell? No, I don't. But I would love to see more studies about this because this topic is absolutely out of this world. Thank you for joining me. I'm Michelle Hammer. I'll see you later.